Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas, on Friday, April the 3rd. And happy Good Friday to you and to your family. We're gonna do a little uh, quick video tonight, and then we'll come back on Sunday night, Easter Sunday. Get back to the routine. Then, of course, the next couple of days are going to be kind of tied up with family and everything else. So we'll do a video today, and then come back on Sunday night, probably with our good friend George Rodriguez again to talk about the situation in Texas. But I wanted to say something that about Good Friday. Having I was born speaking Spanish, as many of you know. Learned English when I came to the United States. And when you grow up in a Spanish speaking country, you don't say Good Friday. What you say in Spanish is Holy Friday. You have Holy Thursday, Holy Friday, and then Holy Saturday. So it never seemed to me comfortable to say Good Friday because, after all, what's good about it, kind of thing. So I always had a difficult time saying to people Happy Good Friday because, again, it's not supposed to be a good day. It's the day, of course, that Jesus was crucified. So that's why I've never been comfortable saying Good Friday. I guess it's just part of my upbringing, and I usually just say, okay, well, Good Friday, out of courtesy. I'll say that sometimes, but usually I would refer to this day as Holy Friday, and then of course Holy Saturday, and then on Sunday, what we used to call it the Day of Resurrection. That's what we used to say in Spanish. It translated to the Day of Resurrection. So different, different language, I guess. I was brought up speaking Spanish, and that's how we said it in Spanish. We would say Holy Friday, Holy Saturday, and then on Sunday, instead of Easter Sunday, we would say Day of Resurrection, which is, of course, when Jesus came back. So I just, sometimes the language, even after all these years, and after having lived in the United States most of my life, it still isn't that easy for me to say Good Friday. I guess just because of the way I was brought up saying Holy Friday. Well, as I said, so we'll take off Saturday and then come back Sunday night to get back into the routine with our friend, or very likely with our friend George Rodriguez from South Texas. A couple of big stories today, of course, this F-15 that was shot down in over Iran. We did find one of the pilots. It looks like the other one is going to be found as well. So that's good. That's a good news to know that both of those pilots are going to be okay after being shot down. Now, obviously, when you put planes and people in a military operation, this is going to happen. And unfortunately, it does happen. So, but I think overall, when you look at the overall military operation, I mean, we've lost one plane in this entire operation. I mean, we lost. I was reading that we lost 63 planes during the Gulf War, and that was considered to be one of the great success stories. So, again, I just, I'm thinking about the pilot who's still missing, and I'm pretty sure we're going to find him. I just get the feeling we are, and we're probably going to find them when it gets dark because we have much better operational equipment for working at night than the Iranians do. I do have a post today over at the American Thinker talking about NATO and how I think very seriously that even though I don't think NATO is going to fall apart, I do think that there are some very bad feelings, though, with some of the NATO countries who were not who did not let us use the airspace or the military bases. I think that is really a big mistake on the part of those countries because, when you've been supported for free pretty much by the United States all these years, and when you've been counting on the United States to defend you, and then when we need you, you start playing games like this. Now, I know why the Prime Minister of Spain is doing it, and that's because he's in deep political trouble. He's a very unpopular leader. And what do you do when you're unpopular? Well, you pick a fight with Donald Trump, hoping that makes you popular. You pick a fight with Donald Trump. that's what you do. I don't think it's going to help him politically in Spain because the problems in Spain are a lot more complicated than blaming it on Donald Trump. But I think that's why he's doing it, picking a fight with Donald Trump. And there's also some talk that some of these countries apparently are going to take over the Gulf or the Straits of Hormuz, and they're going to run it themselves. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. I don't think they can do it because I don't think most of them have the ships or the forces to do it. I think they may find out that it's a lot more complicated than simply letting the United States do it for you. But we if they can do it, that's great. If they can do it, that's great. I mean, it's their oil. At the end of the day, it's their oil. So let them deal with it. I also have a post coming out Saturday morning, or Holy Saturday, as I said before, and that is about the Marshall Plan, because it was this week in 1948 that the United States Congress approved the Marshall Plan. And the Marshall Plan, of course, went on to really rebuild Europe in so many ways. I mean, Europe was devastated after World War II. And we went in there with the Marshall Plan and we literally rebuilt factories and cities. And it was an amazing act of friendship on the part of the people of the United States. And that's another, and out of Marshall Plan, the Marshall Plan also led the way to NATO. That came a little bit later, the military alliance. So when you think of everything that the United States has done for Europe, literally rebuilding Europe after World War II and defending Europe all these years, it's not going to go down well that some of them were not willing to help us in this particular war, a war that is a lot more dangerous to them than it is to us. And as I said in my article, if you don't understand how dangerous Iran is to Europe, just check out the map. They're a heck of a lot closer to Europe than they are to the United States. And if you don't understand how much of a danger Putin is to Europe, again, check out the map. And you can see for yourself that Russia is a lot closer to France than they are to the United States. So, again, some bad thinking here by some NATO leaders. Not all of them. I think most of them want to continue the way it is because they understand that they have tremendous benefit in being associated with the United States in this NATO alliance. But my goodness, some of these countries, Spain in particular, they may want to think about what they did, because I think the American people are going to be really, really turned off by what they did. And again, I'm not saying that the Spanish people believe that, because I'm not sure that they do. I think this is, again, a prime minister who's extremely unpopular and just wanted to pick a fight with President Trump just for purely domestic politics reasons. That's all that it was. So have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you Sunday night. Enjoy your Easter, your Holy Friday, your Holy Saturday, your Easter weekend, and have a wonderful Easter Sunday. I hope you get together with family, maybe go out to eat, do something that people normally do on that day. And then we'll get together again Sunday night, probably, as I said, with our friend George Rodriguez from South Texas, to talk a little bit about politics, because there's always a lot of that going on. Thank you for listening. Happy Holy Friday to all of you. And we'll talk to you later. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas.